Am I the asshole for not sharing my inheritance with my sister since she chose to be adopted? Welcome back to the first podcast where I read the story and you guys decide if that person is an asshole or not. Pretty excited. Hopefully get this video early thumbs up. Greatly appreciate the support and yeah, let's get right in with the podcast. So I, a 30-year-old male, lost my mom when I was 5. Despite being so young, I have very vivid and treasured memories of my mom and did not take my dad dating a year after her death. Well, my dad recognized that he knew this would be hard for me, but said that as the parent and adult, he knew what was best, even it didn't seem that way at first, and that he thanked me in the long run. Not long after that, he married my stepmom, Lucy, and when I began to act out over it, my dad said that parenting alone was hard and that my sister, Jessica, 28-year-old female, needed a mom. My dad even got my maternal grandparents to tell me that everything would be fine and how I needed to be a good boy. That was enough to get me to behave during the wedding. But once Lucy moved in and started redecorating, I started acting out again. My dad had enough and just started punishing me whenever I act out or made Lucy upset, as well as use the Jessica isn't acting out like this. And to be honest, Jessica was easily pleased and wasn't alive long enough to have the same attachment to our mom as I did. It really upset me when Jessica started calling Lucy mom, and it really ticked me off when Lucy started referring to me as her son. I always corrected when she tried that around me. It got worse when I was 8 and Lucy had her own kids because then my dad and her started pushing for adoption. Jessica obviously had no problem with it, but I refused. My dad had my maternal grandparents come in again and tell me that adoption wouldn't be that bad, but I still refused. Lucy and my dad pushed for the adoption anyway, but thankfully the judge listened to my feeling in a private room and denied it. After that, therapy started, but it didn't last, so they also tried that since you don't want to be part of this family, you don't get X or you can't get to do Y. But I was too stubborn for that method to work on me. The only one who I felt was on my side was my maternal aunt, who kept sticking up for me whenever she see what Lucy and my dad was trying to do. So when I turned 18, I went straight to her. It was when I became a legal adult that my maternal grandparents confessed that they were never okay with the situation, but my dad threatened to keep me and my sister away if they didn't show support. I was furious. So furious that I had my own surname legally changed to my mom's maiden name as I wanted nothing to do with my dad and only ever really talked to my maternal aunt. Fast forward to now, and my grandma has passed away. Grandpa died in 2022, and according to their will, only their legal grandchildren is to split a 250,000 inheritance. And since Jessica is legally Lucy's daughter, all she got was a framed photo of my mom and a letter. Jessica doesn't think that it's fair and think I should share, but I told her to get money from her legal grandparents. My aunt thinks I'm being a bit harsh, so am I the asshole? Because someone asked. It happened 2 years since the last time she spoken to either of my parents, while she frequently called and interacted with Lucy's parents. Jessica was never close to my mom's side of the family because she'd rather spend time with Lucy's family and or didn't want to hurt their feelings. Again, if some edit number 2, again someone asked. When Lucy moved in, she and my dad took down all my mom's pictures and got rid of her things. I wasn't allowed to keep any pictures in my room, and I would catch heat if I tried to celebrate my mom's birthday. Mom on the anniversary of her death, and get punished if I didn't celebrate Mother's Day the way Lucy wanted me to. So yeah, she wasn't this saint of a woman who stepped in when my mom came to me. Wow, that sounds really, really sad. Oh my goodness, there's a shadow right here. I mean, this guy, he's just like still mourn the death of his mom, and try to settle about it, and the step parents, the step mom just doesn't allow it. Edit number 3. I don't blame Jessica for choosing to be adopted now. I am angry at her belief that she should get any money from my grandparents despite never showing an interest in having a relationship with them once she was 18. They reached out numerous times, but she never bothered yet has the belief that she entitled to their money. That is what tipped me off. My mom had a sister who also had kids. I am not getting the full $250,000. No, I don't expect anyone from Lucy's side to leave me anything, nor will I demand Jessica to share. It will be completely hypocritical. So yeah, so basically, Jessica, she chose to be adopted, but doesn't do anything, any talking or any communication with the grandparents. So my vote is that that guy is not the asshole. What do you guys think? Okay, this one of the comment was like interesting how she only want to be family now. Money is involved. She hasn't even spoken to them in 2 years. That original author said that. Wow. So she just basically appeared out of nowhere when Money was like talking, and then she was like, "Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm trying to connect some bags." That's how I think, like when there's money involved, people will show their true face. Let's move on to the second story. Am I the asshole for telling my husband my kids will not be supporting my stepson at sport games anymore? My husband and I have been married for 6 years and together for 8. He has a 15-year-old son, Lucas. Lucas' mom died when he was 5 years old. I came to our marriage with Brian, who is 11 now, and Miley, who is 9. Together, my husband and I have Alec, who is 5. So Brian and Miley are Lucas' stepsister, and Alec is his half brother. Lucas has his trinket box with a couple of small trinkets inside of it that his mom left for him when she died. He kept it in his room mostly, but he liked it to sometimes walk around with it in his hand. I have always told my kid it is not theirs. They are not to touch it unless Lucas says they can, and they cannot pester him about it. When we first got married, Miley was really fascinated with it and they want to touch it, but I nipped it in the bud since it was so special. Regarding the dynamic, Lucas is very close off for me and the kids. I have always done my best to bond with him, but he is so withdrawn around me and therapy, which we did when we first got married. Did not get us into a path of being close, but thought I never expect to be his mom, and I don't want that considered. I mean, yeah, she does understand like giving the kid Lucas privacy. About a month ago, we having dinner, and my husband cracked a joke that Lucas seemed to care more about the trinket box than us after Lucas refused to let Alec get a closer look at it. Lucas said very seriously that the box meant more than me and the kids, and he would gladly treat us to save the box if anything happened to it. Wow, that must be a very special box if Lucas really liked it a lot. My husband was shocked. Lucas spoke so seriously, and the girls got upset about it. Alec wasn't paying attention when it was said. My husband took Lucas aside to speak to him, and I spoke to the girls. They told me Lucas had said that before, but he would trade our lives to save his box. That we better hope he never asked to save one of us or the box because the box would win. He said this to them on a few occasions over a period of time. They never told me because they didn't know how to bring it up. He told Alec the same as well. My husband said Lucas would need some therapy because. You'll need to unlock your iPad first. Okay, my Siri going off. My husband said Lucas needs some therapy because he saw nothing wrong with saying that honestly. I told him he was saying it and more to the kids when we didn't over here. My husband said therapy will get into the bottom of things. A few days later, Lucas is telling Brian that he saved his friend over the box but not her. I told my husband about it, and he said it will be mentioned to the therapist. He had a consultation with one of them next day. Lucas argued that he didn't need therapy, and just because he doesn't care about us or our life doesn't mean there is something wrong with him. I wonder why is Lucas so um kind of on the fence, like doesn't show any empathy, but just a box. Hmm. I told my husband that giving Lucas attitude toward the kids, they were never so out to cheer him on any sport games or the like. My husband argued we are still a family. I told him my kids do not need to cheer on the boy who has told them to get there multiple times that their lives are meaningless to him. My husband think I am overreacting. I would be wrong to do this. Am I the asshole? Hmm. Okay. So the Lucas is the husband's son. Alright? And Lucas said that he do not care about the stepmom's daughter and son at all. He would trade their life for the box. Um yeah, I don't my vote is no, that the stepmom is not the asshole, because Lucas specifically said that there is nothing wrong with trading two human life for a box. What do you guys think? I mean, it'll be really hard to convince Lucas to see, like, to feel empathy toward the stepbrothers and sisters, right? So okay, here's a comment. Not sure. Since there is a decade worth of info missing, I do suggest therapy. Therapy is underway. Yeah, so I might take it back, because think about it. There is a part that is missing. The part is why did Lucas started um, pushing everyone away? What is there, like a material that he read? Is there like an event that he experienced that made him think the way he thinks right now? I mean, when you were born, you were just an empty template, right? And you get all that information, and you fill that page or template up with information. So obviously, some kind of environment or some kind of channel or some kind of video or some kind of negative experience that made Lucas think that way. So hopefully the therapist will kind of figure that out. It just have to really dig into the minds of Lucas and see what exactly is going on and why he think it's okay to say that I would trade these two people's life for a box. So I'll take my first answer back and kind of leave it as a neutral kind of answer. Hard to say. Um, yeah, so only therapy can find out. Hopefully, they can resolve the problem and come up with a better solution, instead of the stepmom saying that we're not going to Lucas sport games anymore. That will leave an even deeper scar. It's like you're putting kind of like salt on the scar, right? And when you put salt on the scar, make it worse. It doesn't heal. It's more pain, right? So yeah, hopefully they can figure this out. Next, am I the asshole for opting out of my best friend's wedding because they didn't invite my girlfriend? Let me take a drink real quick. So my girlfriend is a 28-year-old female childhood best friend. Brad is 28 male. So Brad is getting married in late May to Vicky, 26, female, a week ago. On Easter, I received his wedding invite, which only listed my name but not my girlfriend's name. My girlfriend's name is Mary, 28-year-old female. For context, Brad, Mary, and I have known each other since high school. We were in the same friend group. Mary and I live around 2 hours away from Brad and Vicky. Because Mary is a nurse, she doesn't always have the time to visit Brad and Vicky with me, so I got along most of the time, but when she is able, she joins me. Mary has met Vicky and seen her around 10 times in the past 4 years that Vicky is with Brad. Mary and I have been together for 6 years total, and we do plan on getting engaged and married once we are more financially settled. So Mary and the other are like girlfriend and boyfriend, and Brad and Vicky are the one that they attending. And Mary met Brad and Vicky multiple times. Okay, the only reason they didn't really see each other is because the distance, and she's a nurse, so she's like pretty busy. So which is understandable. So I asked Brett if Mary is invited, and they just forgot to mention her name, to which he replied that Vicky is very strict about some rules, and in order to cut down costs, she is enforcing a low ring, no bring rule for the wedding. So since Mary is just a girlfriend and doesn't have a ring to imply some formality, then she is not invited. Wow. Wow. That is a, I don't think that's a good excuse. I reminded Brad that Mary and I have been together longer than he is with Vicky, and that Mary is also his friend, not just my partner. He says he knows and tried to talk to Vicky out of it, but she is very strict with that. I let it go, and I was in dilemma about whether I should go to the wedding or not because of that. Mary told me that she is not happy about the situation, but I should go to avoid more drama. So I called them to tell them I will attend. Vicky picked up the phone and said she is sorry about making me uncomfortable by not inviting Mary, but these are the rules. I said I respect the rules. I am not necessarily happy about it, though. She then, for some reason, started being harsh about how Mary and I are not in a serious enough relationship. If after knowing each other for so long and being together for 6 years, we are not engaged yet, and so that after all, you never know what tomorrow brings. I could break out with Mary anytime since we haven't shown any signs of true commitment. Wow, that is just so rude. It's their business. It's not your business to kind of tell how they live their life. I confronted her and told her that it is not her place to validate Mary and I's relationship, and that it is really low of her to use a dumb rule just to shame and mismanage long-term couples who, for whatever reason, haven't gotten married yet. I said I'll pass after all and not attend the wedding. Oh, she and Brad said I am disrespecting them and their choice by choosing Mary over their wedding day, and I said I don't care. Keep your rules, and I'll keep my relationship because it's more important than any exclusive rules that only exist in order to shame people. I've been receiving a lot of backlash from other friends for that choice, but who said I am an asshole for being so bitter about something so small? But to me, it is not small. They invalidated Mary and our relationship. All right, I gotta be honest on this one. Okay, I just think he is not the asshole for it because someone made fun of their relationship. Who is to say that 6 years and you're not getting married? Like what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone have their own timeline. Everyone have their own way of living. Some people get married in a year. Other people get married in 3 years. And even some other people that like to live on the edge that might get married after 4 months. They know each other. You know, everyone have their own timeline and their own journey, and you just live in your own timeline. You don't have any superpower to like kind of tell them, oh, here's a set of rules, right? If you're not married after 1 year, that means you're not committed. That is so wrong. What do you guys think? Let me read some comments. Not the asshole. What a stupid rule, and stupid in this instance for many specific reasons. First of all, Mary and Brad were in the same high school friends group, so it could easily be argued that she could be invited purely based on being his friend and totally independent of her relationship with you. Second, using marriage as a barometer of commitment is insane. So by Bride's logic, if cousin Chad get drunk in Vegas and marry the girl he's been dating for 2 weeks, she will be an invite while your girlfriend of 6 years will not. This is so dumb. That is a really good example, right? You go to Vegas, get super drunk, and got married in 2 weeks. That would be insanely fast. But keep in mind, when you get married and you decide to get a divorce, that it gets really tricky, okay? Because when you get divorced and you have a house, you gotta split that house. If you have a boat or a car, you gotta split that too. So you gotta choose the right person to get married, not just go to a house and go to Vegas and get married. To top all this off, you were initially willing to let go and just come some anyway. But then Brian had to double down and insult your relationship to your face. That just sucks. Groom need to step up and be a good friend and tell Brian she is being ridiculous. I mean, here's the thing, right? The bride is like asking way too much. I mean, what's gonna happen after the wedding? The bride gonna be like, you do all the dishes. I wanna buy some Gucci clothes. I wanna go to vacation. Basically, she sets the rules in the house. And if the groom doesn't wanna listen, you know what's gonna happen? I mean, the groom already gave in by listening to her, the bride, making some really stupid rule about if you don't have the ring, then you're not gonna get invited to the wedding, right? And the groom actually accepted the criteria. Like, how crazy is that? Like, if I got married and I have some friends that want to get over, and I know plenty of best friends that is not married, and I can't invite them anymore. That's what you were saying. I mean, I don't think that is a very common practice. I never heard something like that before. So hopefully you have a lot of friends that is already married, or if they're not married, and you're gonna have a lot of empty chairs in your wedding day. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate my stripper pool is staying in the living room? My stripper pool. Okay, let's see how that go. A few months ago, I, female 20, decided I wanted to take out pole dancing. I told my roommate I meant that female 20 and holy female 26 that I was thinking of getting one and installing it in the living room, and they said go ahead. Side note, we had no furniture at the time, so this pool was installed in an empty living room. A little while later, since nobody else was getting furniture, I got a couch off Facebook Marketplace. Holly also got a TV for the living room. Right after we got the TV, Holly demanded that we move the pool off the backside of the living room so the TV and the couch could fit in the corner where the pool already is. I was confused by her request because the couch was already placed close to the center of the living room and there was an outlet available for the TV to go in front of the couch. I asked Holly why she wanted to move it into the corner, and she said that it's because she wants a cozy little look. I told her that the pool is quite difficult to move and install, and the pool being in its existing spot gave me enough room. The new spot she just suggested would have me slightly in the way of hallway, and I couldn't tell if there was a stud where she wanted to move to. Because of those reasons, I told Holly kindly that I won't be able to move the pool, and the couch can stay where it is on the other side of the living room. Partly because I own the couch, and since she simply asked me, I am allowed to say no. She doesn't respond well to this. She contacted our rental company and told them that we had an unauthorized stripper pool in our unit that no one agreed to. An administrator came to our unit and told me that the pool needed to be removed. I was obviously pissed she snitched on me, so I told Holly if she still wants her cozy little look, She can get her own couch. I am restricting her from using mine. Am I the asshole? This is. I feel like both of them need to grow up. you know, there should be a compromise of some sort. Okay, let's see what the comment says. You both are being selfish and immature. Sounds like you guys have some growing up to do. And this does not sound like a living arrangement that is going to last. For sure, they're not gonna last because whenever, um, whenever she like come home, Holly is gonna be there, and Amanda is gonna be there too. Every time you see Holly's face, you remember that incident where she demanded the pool to be removed. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of fights, a lot of small arguments. The lifestyle is gonna be um a little bit weird, I would say. Here's a second comment. You are the asshole. Yes, you have permission at first. However, as people get settled in, you need to accept changes. You don't get to permanently hog the common area with your exercise equipment. Put that in your room where it belongs. It would be like putting an exercise bike or Bowflex in the middle of the living room. That also have a really valid argument. I mean, for me, like I have like a printer and a coffee maker. I put it in my room because I'm the only one using it. A stripper pool. You're the only one that using the stripper pool, right? It's best to put it in your room because you're the only one using it. Nobody else is using it. Alright, let's go with the next one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she has no one but herself to blame for her daughter not wanting to see her? Oh. So my sister is 30 male. So my sister is 32 female. Right? The person that wrote the article is 30-year-old male. So my sister is recovering hormone addiction. Oh, and has a 12-year-old daughter. She already been addicted for a couple years when she got pregnant and cut off most of the family when we didn't give her money. She was also on probation at the time. She ended up failing a drug test while pregnant and had her daughter taken at birth. Literally at birth. She never even got to see her. Wow. I'll give her credit and say she cleaned out her act big time when that happened. She went to rehab, got a job, and is now 12 years sober and living on her own. My niece ended up getting placed with a nice foster family who adopted her. But my sister got supervised visitation when she was 4. Unsurprisingly, she had no attachment to my sister and saw her foster family as her real one. She still get a few hours a weekend to see her, but by now, my niece has gone from indifferent to annoyed at having to spend 90 minutes every Saturday chatting with a stranger. She now prefers not to see my sister again, and she agreed to that. She been beside herself for weeks now, talking about how it feels like all her work was for nothing and that it's like they took her away again. I reminded her that the girl has no attachment to her and that her fault for doing drugs while pregnant. She should have stayed clean, and this is the consequence of that mistake. She accused me of being unsympathetic and unsympathetic and said that I have no idea what it's like to give birth and never met a baby after that, along with the other insults. Our mother found out from her and said that while I was right, it didn't need to be said then and now. Well, I do agree with that. I mean, you gotta give it to her. This is a very, very sad story. The mother gave birth and never even once saw the baby, the face, right? Never even once get to hold her when she was a baby. It was immediately taken away. And then she decided, everybody makes mistakes, and she decided to kind of clean herself up which is very, very impressive. Um, Now she's like 12 years clean. So I would say that he is the asshole for saying it because she is so hurt that she will never get to see her daughter again because the daughter have no feeling for her. And at that worst, the lowest point of her life, and you tell her it's your fault and your fault only. I would probably offer some comfort words or kind words to kind of help her, not like more insults to kind of make the wound worse. So let's read one of the comment. I'm gonna go with you are the asshole, but gently. It is true that no, her daughter doesn't know her. Supervised visits have not been enough to form a bond. Your niece has a loving family. That is important. But your sister has been sober for 12 years. That is a hell of an accomplishment.
Okay, I found this on the web for your sister. Check
Oh
it out.
my god, let me turn off my Siri real quick. Alright, let's keep reading. 12 is a tough age too. For all you both know, her daughter might change her mind more as she grows. She clearly making great effort and little venting in private isn't hurting anyone. At the end of the day, addiction is a disease. She can't change her past. All she can do is move forward, and she clearly been doing this. This is what I've been saying. She been moving forward in the right direction. Her daughter doesn't her daughter doesn't owe her love or a relationship, but acknowledging your sister's pain isn't wrong either. She has a right to be upset, even if this is the consequence of her past. People can change, and she is trying. A little acknowledgement of negative feelings, even if one is at fault, isn't a bad thing. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, whenever a person is at their lowest point of life, I will comfort that person, even um, even that person did some bad stuff, but try to make it right, right? Um, try to change that change her life, her trajectory for the better, which is good. As long as that person is trying to put in 110% of effort to do the right thing again, then you should at least acknowledge the effort. Let's go on with the next one. Am I the asshole for asking my brother to pay $30,000 for my engagement ring? Wow. I hosted a family dinner over the weekend. My brother brought my nephew, 4 and 8, over as well. I used to wear my engagement ring all the time, but lately I keep it in my walk-in closet and mainly wear it for special occasions. While I was cleaning out the dinner table, my nephew went to go play while the adults were still in the outdoor patio kitchen area. My brother was not supervising his kids. During this time, my nephew went into the master bedroom without anyone knowing and started playing with everything, including my engagement ring. When we came to look for them, they panicked because they know they weren't supposed to be upstairs, ran into the master bedroom and flushed my ring. Oh no. We called a plumber in case it was somehow in the urethra of the toilet and not actually gone, but nope. Unfortunately, it was gone for good. We still had the original receipt, so I called my brother. I emailed him a scanned copy as a proof of the cost and asked him to reimburse me for the ring my nephew flushed. Immediately, he started calling me an asshole because we were family and he was just a child. He has refused to repay the cost of my ring. Oh. I told him I would be taking him to court for this, and now my entire family is blowing up my phone saying families should sue each other and just let it go. Edit. No, the ring was not insured. I found out the day after my nephew flushed it. My husband says he forgot and in the end never actually inserted. Edit 2. My brother said he does not have the money to repay even $100 per month and has refused any kind of repayment plan. He said I live in a nice enough house. If I want a replacement, I suggest sell my car. What? That is so rude. Edit number 3. My brother to this day has not fully apologized. It was a Canadian sorry. Sorry, not sorry. He said kids will do what is normal for kids, and their son be held responsible for a ring. They were supposed to supervise the kids outdoor with the rest of the family while I was busy cleaning up. Edit number 4. I don't believe for a second my brother and his wife cannot repay for the cost of my engagement ring. They don't make anything near my husband, but they have a combined income of $250,000. What? That's a lot of money. They don't pay rent or anything because my parents gifted them their old house valued at $3.5 million in Toronto, Canada. Back Toronto, California. Okay, back when I bought my parents a new home a year ago. There is no mortgage on the home my brother lives in. The only thing my brother and his wife will have to pay for is the cost of raising the kids, normal bills, and food. I feel so distracted because my ring holds great sentimental value. I already been speaking with my husband's family lawyer, but at this point, I am ready to hire a PI to find out if they really don't have the money. Yep, here's my vote. You are definitely not the asshole for this, okay? I mean, that the brother have $250,000 in income. You can pay, like they even offer to do a monthly financial payment. Let's hear the audience. Okay, one of the comment was, "You are not the asshole. His circus, his monkeys. He wasn't watching them. That's on him. 100% he should replace your ring. As for all the family who blowing up at you, it is easy when it didn't happen to them to preach forgiveness. Ignore them. Also, or also at edit number 4, are them all 8 and 4 are more than old enough to know better. My 3-year-old know how not to touch someone else's thing in their home without asking. Choices have consequence, and sometimes those consequences are expensive. Sorry this happened to you." Yeah, I totally agree with this comment. You know, like yeah, like if the kid flush down a wedding ring, a engagement ring, that means you didn't do a good job kind of raising them and teaching them values. 4-year-old and 8-year-old, both of them are kind of old enough to understand the basic respect and value of kind of asking, like, respectfully, can I use the bathroom, or can I go to the bedroom to lay down or sleep, basic manners. So I do feel really bad for the person losing a $30,000 ring. That is literally a car. You can buy a car for $30,000. Can you imagine losing a $30,000? It's really, really bad. All right, let's see. All right, let's do one more, and this will be the last one. Am I the asshole for not covering up my boobs when I saw my friend, her husband, and kids on holiday? So last week, 40 female, went on a holiday to Lanzarote with my husband, Dane, and 2 kids, 14 girl and 10-year-old boy. Independently, our friends Helen and Graham were going to the same resort with their 2 girls, 9-year-old and 7-year-old. We didn't make any formal plans to meet, but said we might arrange dinner while we were there. One day we were on the beach by the edge of the sea, paddling and playing bat and ball. I was topless. I always go topless on holidays if local laws allowed. I have done it since around the age of 14. My mom and sister did too. I know it's a contentious issue, especially in the US where people can be pru- very prudish, but it's just a totally normal non-sexual thing for me. In Europe, it's very common, and there were a lot of topless women on the beach that day. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I am anticipating certain questions here, but no, I am not a nudist. No, I don't parade around naked at home in front of my kids or their friends. I just sunbath topless on holidays and in my garden. The kids don't bat an eyelid, but I got any inclination it was a problem for them. I lightly went to it. Helen and Graham's kid appeared unexpectedly and ran up to us. I looked around and Helen and Graham were there too. We greeted them. I gave each of them a kiss on the cheek as I always do when I greet my friends. We stood and chatted while the kids played, but Helen seemed quiet. Her, her girls asked me to play bat and ball with them. I said yes, but Helen abruptly said they had to go. Kids were disappointed, but they suggested meeting later for dinner. Graham accepted. Later, I got a text from Helen to cancel dinner. She was upset with me for not putting a top on when we saw them. Quote, would they have killed you to put your tits away when we arrived? She was angry that I kissed Graham while topless, and that I was going to play bat and ball with her kids with my, quote, bare boobs swinging around, and later her two girls were giggling about it. Sarah's massive wobbly boobs, she said she didn't want to see me that night. I was upset. I didn't think I'd done anything wrong given that we were on a beach where loads of women had their boobs out. I didn't have a chance to cover up. The first I knew of their presence was when they were close and already seen I was topless. I have had to walk past up them 50 foot up to the beach to our hotel to put on a top. It would have been like shutting the table door after the horse had bolted. I replied that I was sorry she was upset and that I made her angry. Since getting home, I texted her again but have no response. They had seen Graham, who said he wasn't upset about it, but he and Helen had argued afterward when she accused him of enjoying the view too much. Oh my goodness. They think I didn't do anything wrong. We, we weren't expecting to see them. There were other topless women their kids could giggle at, and for Graham to fix his eye on if that was what he really doing. And by the way, neither of us think he was. But I am sorry I accepted my friend wondering if I am the asshole. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this amount of response. I am overwhelmed and appreciate all the replies, whether you are not or you are the asshole. Thank you all. Couple things that I wanna keep in mind. When I kissed Graham, I didn't pull him into a full hug. I leaned in from an angle and air kissed his cheek. My boobs didn't go anywhere near touching him. I apologize if I didn't clarify this point. Okay, that's a good point. They told their kids. I didn't contact them at all. They were mostly interested in seeing my kids, not me. The bat and ball game was a beach tennis game. Wooden bats shaped like a table tennis paddles. Small rubber ball. Idea is to try and keep a rally going with your opponent. It would have meant a gentle back and forth tapping of the ball. There it would have been too successful or too small kids, and I certainly wouldn't have been leaping around like Serena Williams. Some are calling it a topless beach. It was just a normal beach, not specifically a topless one. In the Canaries, you are allowed to be sunbathed topless on the beach. Most people don't, but a lot do. Some have said Helen is jealous or insecure. I really don't know if that is the case. I think she is gorgeous and doesn't need to be. I am certainly not supermodel. I just don't have any hang-ups about my body. She is smarter than me in that department, but I have no idea if that is an issue for her or not. It's really simply. Thanks again. Yeah, I just think that if it's a normal thing in the beach to go topless just to get some sunbath, it's not that big of a problem. Let's read some comments and see. not the asshole. You and your massive wobbly boobs can do whatever you will please as long as the local laws allowed. If she had a problem with it, she shouldn't have come out to you in the first place. She surely should have noticed you were topless from afar before approaching. I am severely disappointed in you, Reddit. For anybody replying with yes, you are the asshole. Okay, yeah. So here's the thing, right? The whole beach have like a lot of topless women. So you kind of expect, okay, that's a first warning sign when you step your foot into the sand. You can see a lot of topless women kind of just walking around. So yeah, I don't think she is the asshole. But anyways, that is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notification. And my name is Kelvin, and I see you guys next one.